What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be talking about something special, a game that lives in the shadow of Wario's chaotic legacy, Wario World. You ready? Let's dive in. Growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, Wario had, well, a bit of identity crisis. If you asked 3 different kids who Wario was, you'd probably get 3 different answers from each kid. Seriously, ask around. One kid would tell you he's a greedy treasure hunter from Wario Land. Another would swear he's an insane microgame master from WarioWare. And the third might just look at you like you're insane. And you know what? Even now, you may get some mixed responses. Today we're diving into the weird Wario World. But first, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Because Wario and I, we both got history. My first games ever, Wario Land 3 and Pokemon Pinball. And let me tell you, Wario Land was one heck of a start. Wario Land taught me 2 different things: thinking outside the box and patience. You use enemies' attacks to solve puzzles and progress. And trust me, you need to think creatively to figure it all out. Not exactly a button mash kind of game. It made you work for treasure and I loved every second of it. Then there's WarioWare. Now this one, as a kid, I was confused. What do you mean I have to play 10 games in like 1 minute? As an excited kid who thought I was getting another Wario Land, to be hit with microgames, yeah. It was a bit of a shock for me, but you know what? A few weeks ago, I gave it another shot, and I get it now. WarioWare is a wild, fast-paced trip. I'm ashamed to admit it, but everyone was right. WarioWare is up there. And if you're curious, I'll be doing a deep dive into the rest of the WarioWare series for a future video. So you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss it. Alright, so let's get to what we're really here for. Wario World. The game was released in 2003, developed by Treasure, and let me say, it's wild. Picture this. A giant jewel comes to life and isekais Wario into a world filled with dinosaurs, mummies, clowns, lizards and bikinis, and whatever this is. Yeah, it's as crazy as it sounds. Compared to other 3D games at the time, Wario World was definitely not playing it safe. While Mario Luigi was out here cleaning up goo and ghosts with hoses and vacuums, Wario was just slamming enemies left and right. I mean, we're talking punches, slams, DDT and Triceratops off cliffs. This is a game where Wario's out here to take names, break necks, no holding back. And you know, something about throwing enemies off into the abyss, using another snowman to beat another snowman just feels right. It's violent, it's silly, and it's just so satisfying. But hey, let's take a step back. Why is Wario on this chaotic adventure? It all starts with Wario doing what he does best: treasure hunting. He ends up with a black jewel which scatters him and all his loot across 4 different worlds. And let me tell you, each world has its own theme, enemies, and it all ties back to Wario's treasure hunt. This is a game about collecting, beating enemies, solving puzzles, and did I mention treasure? This game has collectibles everywhere. Spritlings, which serves as the game's guide, and other functions that we'll cover shortly. Treasure. Gold statues that level up your health, and more important, red diamonds. You need these red diamonds to progress to the next level. These diamonds are locked behind puzzles, platforming challenges, and let's be real, this game loves its platforming. Now let's talk about some of the worlds. There are 4 worlds as we mentioned before. The first 2 worlds were a breeze, but by the time you get to the last 2 worlds, you're starting to feel it. The amount of enemies that spawn, the tricky platforming, I was getting slammed left and right by the time you got to stage 3 and 4. But you know what? The challenges made those boss battles feel even more rewarding. And speaking of boss battles, Wario World definitely doesn't disappoint here. The designs are wild, and the fights are a lot more unique than the regular enemies. Each boss feels fresh and exciting. You can tell the amount of work that the devs at Treasure put in with this. Now with that being said, as far as Black Jewel himself, look, it's a fun fight, but compared to the build up, it's just a little bit of a letdown. That said, the spritlings you rescue throughout the game will come in clutch during these final battles, which is a nice touch, but again, I think it could have been a little bit more done. After beating Black Jewel, Wario is treated to 1 of 6 different endings, depending on how many spritlings you save throughout the campaign. If you rescue them all, you'll get the treasure ending, which is a gold castle full of loot. Wario's dream, no big deal. Outside of that, you could have other endings as well that range from being in a wooden forest to having a stone castle to having a castle full of gold but not as much loot as a treasure ending. And for my final thoughts, look, Wario World is a blast. It's wacky, it's chaotic, it's everything I want from Wario. The bosses are great, the treasure hunting is satisfying, and the combat is just ridiculous in the best ways. Sure, I wish the game was a bit longer. I'm still upset we never got a sequel, but hey, what are you gonna do about it? At least we got this gem. So if you haven't played Wario World yet, what are you doing? Go find it, play it, come back, and let me know what you think. For those who grew up with it and I played it before, drop some of your favorite memories down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this review, please hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for more game goodness coming your way. Catch you next time, treasure hunters. Stay greedy.